Hi everyone and welcome to Adobe Live. My name's Flynn. We'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners on the land in which we meet today, and we would like to also pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. We're going to kick things off in just a second with Bianca Beers. This is part two of a two-part series. If you missed the last one, you can always go back and check it out, but we'll give you a quick recap in just a sec. Hey to Festus, and also Johanna is in here. Afroja, I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's lovely to see you. If you're watching this anywhere else, feel free to jump over to behance.net/live if you want to say hi. Let us know where you're from, what's going on. We love to hear from you. Without further ado, let's bring on Bianca Beers. Hey, Bianca, how you doing?
Hey, Flynn, how are you?
I'm good. We're down.
It's been so long.
It's been so long. Yeah, it's only been one day. Yeah, we had some internet issues here on Tuesday, and so we ended up doing two shows back to back. So here we go. So yeah, it's really only been 24 hours since we were hanging out. Last time, doing some of the portrait illustration, which you started yesterday, and you're going to finish off today.
Yes. Should we hop in?
Yeah, sure. Should we do a bit of a recap? Maybe
is that super fast?
Yeah, no, that's cool. We do it. Whenever you're ready, we can jump over to your screen and we can check it out.
Let's do it. So I'll just show again for anyone that's new that are you using my screen? Oh my god, yeah. I did this before I jumped the gun. So I've made this decision that I want to do a few. Got it?
Yes. We're good.
Okay, dope. So I've made the decision that I want to do a series of these kind of like Polaroid portraits. So this is the first one I did of one of my mates a couple weeks ago. And I just wanted to just do another one just for something different today. So we started yesterday. We started with a bit of like the outline and just some of the rendering. I did a little bit more yesterday afternoon just so it was a bit further along where I wanted it to be. So that's what it was. And this is what it is now. It's looking a bit dark, so I've definitely got to add some highlights and stuff so that it's a bit brighter. And that's what we're going to do today. And then we'll add some spray effects and whatnot and hopefully get it all cracking. I also added like this kind of softened edge. You know how like, I don't know, for some reason Polaroids always have like a little bit of like a darker edge just because of the way it's developed.
Like a vignette.
So I added that yeah, exactly. So that's there. And yeah, I added a bit of texture to the background. It was pink before, but I changed it to grey. I may change it back to pink because this is looking a bit dark, but I'm hoping that once we add the spray, it'll be much, much brighter.
Cool. I mean, you can never have too much pink, right?
You really can't.
I
love pink, but you do. All right, so I'm going to get cracking with some highlights now. So I want the cheeks, I think, to be a bit brighter and more unrealistic. Something that really pops. So
as your mum would say, unrealistic.
Yeah. Or she says that it looks like they have a cold.
They have a cold.
I don't like that, Bianca. Looks like they're sick or they have a cold or something. Sorry, Mum.
Sorry, Mum. That's great. I love it. So, hey, a couple more people in chat saying hello. Hi to Dee. Lovely to see you again. And Bruce, what's up? R&B's here as well. Super great to have you hanging out. So we're here for about 50 minutes. It goes fast. Already 5 minutes is gone. Here for about 50 minutes hanging out. And yeah, let us know if you have questions or comments and things like that. Maybe a bit more of a recap on this. Like you do portraits quite a bit. And you'll, about once a month on your Instagram, you'll kind of do a little competition or a little lottery to if someone wants a portrait done where they can kind of put their hand up and say, yep, why don't you do a portrait of me? And This is the girl. This is someone that you follow who you also follow back. And yeah, you've wanted to draw this person.
You've got a
for
good
while.
memory.
It was only yesterday. That's about as I'm like a goldfish. If it was a week ago, it's gone.
No, that's pretty good retention. Like I forgot I even told you all that. Yeah, so I'm finally doing this. I actually asked her. She won ages ago, and I asked her to send a photo, and she never did. But luckily, Instagram is a photo app, so I just picked one, and that's what we're doing. So yeah, I added some bling. She makes these really cute pearl necklaces, so I added one in, and I added some rings and some nails just for a bit of interest.
Those nails
Something
are sharp.
different.
Yeah, R&B and Steve in the chat. Those nails are sharp. Which means business.
They are. She does. I wanted to do eyelashes. Let me do that before I forget.
Cool. And looks like you added some
My
texture.
favorite part.
Oh, you're gone?
No, you go on.
I was just going to say, I noticed that you've added some texture to the, is it a beanie? What do we call it? I mean, I know it's a hat, but maybe we can
Yeah. Like a teddy. Yeah, I guess it's a beanie. Yeah, I added some texture. I actually don't know if I like the texture that much, but we can always take it out. We'll see. See how we go.
Did you add it on a different layer so that if you don't like it, you can take it out super easy, or do you need to?
I'm pretty sure I did. I look at all the layers. I hope I did, because if I didn't, that's a bit silly of me. And I should have labeled all these layers too. Honestly, that's number one tip. Work in layers and label them.
So it's like, do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly.
I mean, we're asking you to move very fast here.
Like any good teacher.
Exactly. We're asking you to move very fast here. If you're labeling your layers the whole time, you might not get through everything, but it is important to label your layers. Have you ever been caught out where you've had dozens of layers and they're all unlabeled and you have to flick through everything?
Yeah, often. Often, if I'm being completely honest. But I really want to I might even enlarge the eyes and stuff, and lips. I just want to make it a little bit more cartoony. I realized I did that with the first one, so I want it to kind of match. These eyelashes are nuts.
That's cool. How many of these portraits have you done now, like this style? Or
this will be the second.
Yeah, sorry, go on. Ask a question then.
This will be the second one. No, you're good.
Cool.
So it's fresh. I've been doing them in my spare time, which there hasn't been a lot of recently. So it's kind of perfect that you reached out, because I could do it while talking to you guys.
I love that.
So dope.
It's so smart. So you can it's a double whammy, which is great.
It is. Killing two birds with one stone.
Nice.
For real.
So let's see how my memory goes here.
Okay.
Do you do them live as well? I think we were talking about you used to do. I say used to because I guess it's been a while since physical events, but we'll come along to physical events and sit down and have to do it fairly quickly, doing it live. Is that right? Yeah. I do normally when life is normal. I usually am at events drawing live portraits, or even customizing stuff, customizing jackets or sneakers. That's really common as well. And I'd be flying all over Sydney doing that, and I really loved that because you just felt bougie getting in a hotel, you know what I mean, on the job. But also you get to meet so many people and just interact, which I really love. I'm all about, we were talking about this yesterday, we're both really community people. So that's something I really enjoy usually, but haven't had a gig like that in over a year now. I had a few lined up before COVID started, and then they all got cancelled, obviously. And I was going to run my first ever workshop at my friend's studio, and we organized everything and had sponsors together. So everyone got a goodie bag at the end and all this. It was going to be dope as hell. And then, COVID. So it kind of scared me from trying to do my own thing like that. You know what I mean? It's oh no, it wasn't right. The universe doesn't want me to do that. No, don't let that stop you.
I've got to, I don't know, when the time's right, I'll feel it. But I should have mentioned this yesterday. I'm actually going to be doing, I don't know if I can announce it, but somewhere in Western Sydney, I will be running workshops for a company every Saturday for a month. So it's starting on the 27th of April, if that's a Saturday. Sorry, 24th of April.
Oh, cool.
And so every Saturday, Western Sydney. I think it's going to be ticketed, but there'll be lots of goodies and freebies and everything. It'll be really, really fun.
Cool.
Stay tuned for that.
What are you teaching? Are you teaching this kind of style? Are you teaching
we're actually doing customization.
Yeah, okay, cool.
No, it's basic. So yeah, it'll be customization. So I think we're going to have an item that you guys will get and we'll be customizing it. I'll give you guys like paints and stuff, but I'll also have stencils that I've made so people who aren't so comfortable freehanding can, use a stencil.
That's a nice idea.
So, yeah. So I'm excited for that. That'll be really good.
Cool. Super cool. That's just going to check in the chat as well. Bruce is saying, liking the background, super simple, but feels like a texture or fabric.
Ooh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bruce.
And Pedro's asking, is this a self-portrait? Looks like it. Yeah, it is. So self-portrait. Well, it's not a self-portrait. It's a selfie from someone else that has been taken from Instagram.
Yes. I wish I looked like that. She's so beautiful. Like, I am obsessed with her face. She actually looks like an angel. Like, truly. Just adding in a little tooth gap. It should probably be a bit to the side, that side.
And Pedro in chat makes a really good point. Really grungy style, like really different from traditional digital art. So should we talk about style a little bit? Like, how did you find your style, evolving your style over time? Do you have anything you can share with us?
Yeah. So I started out really like gradients and like all my shading was very smooth. I wonder if I could show you guys an example. Is that weird if we hop onto my Instagram and like scroll all the way to the bottom in the middle?
Let's have a look. Let's do it. That's the value of like doing this live instead of like putting a video on. We can tap into what you guys are interested in, so we can check it out.
So this is more of like how I draw now, which is just really sketchy. And it's not as realistic. Whereas before, oh sheesh, whoops, Instagram, yep. But I started out doing really clean lines and like gradients for shading, and it took longer and people didn't notice the detail that I was putting in anyway. So it just felt like a waste of time. But also, even before that, I actually started out really realistic drawing, and that was even more of a waste of time for me because I was like, I was at I was at TAFE at the time, and the teacher was like, if you can draw, any artist basically can draw a realistic thing if they really put the time and effort in, but what's the point in that when photographs exist? And that kind of changed my thinking about it. It's like, okay, yeah, you can do that, but you're not putting much of yourself into it, like any style or any, I don't know, like it's just, oh, this is what I see, so I'm going to draw what I see. So yeah, I started doing this style that I'm talking about now, which it had like really thick lines, really thick, smooth lines and smooth gradients shading. And I outgrew it. A lot of people said it looked like, what's that? Grand Theft Auto. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Here's an example.
Yep.
Like Grand Theft Auto.
Like vector.
Yeah.
Like I know it wasn't.
And they're like, "Oh, did you do that on Illustrator?" I'm like, "No." Yeah, I was. And everyone was like, "Oh, you did that on Illustrator." I'm like, "No, I did that by hand." And so I think the work that I put in wasn't really noticed. So this is all just done with a soft brush, and it's cool. Like I'll do it every now and then. This style. But I'm more in the sketchy vibe now as well, just because I feel like it's a bit more expressive. But this is really cool. I'm looking at it now and I'm like, I really like that. Anyway, back to flatter. We'll get this one vibrant and popping, don't you worry. But yeah, cool. I developed that over time. I just changing. Like I notice all artists evolve, but some are so scared to try new things because they have a fan base that likes what they're doing already. and they like them for that and they don't want to see something else. And I was in that mindset for a while as well, but I was just like, you know what, the right people will come to me no matter what I'm doing. So you just got to do what you feel at the time and express yourself however you like, as long as you're not hurting other people, you know what I mean?
And we talk about like feeding the algorithm as well, like that, not being being concerned about like losing followers and not letting that get in the way of being experimental,
your creativity
and what you're vibing as well. I think that's really good advice for people these days. And we all do it. You know, it's really easy to kind of fall into that.
Yes, that trap. And like, you may even want to be trying something else. Like, I want to do collage art. Like, I want to dip my toes in that because it's really fun. It's something I used to do as a kid, make collages. And I did one recently. Adobe approached me for a campaign and I did it and everyone loved it. And I was just like, look, when you do what you want, people support it. Like, because it's organic and it's, you know, it's you. So
I like it.
Just mixing it up with a bunch of different things. And NFTs make it cool as well because you can actually like experiment with different things and then sell the stuff, and you have an audience there that's not necessarily like put you in a certain pigeonhole. So they just it's like really whoever comes to see your art and likes it for that time. It's not this is their style and this is what I follow them for, and they can't stop creating stuff like this, or they've lost a follower or a fan. Which I really like.
Yeah, that's cool. There was a follow-up question from Johanna about style. How does one know when you've outgrown an art style? I
think when you're like bored. So that's been my experience anyway. Like, you get bored of doing stuff and you're just like, I feel like I need to be trying something new, or I'm not learning, I'm not progressing, I'm not pushing any barriers right now, whatever. So that for me, that's when I've changed. But I think it's different for other people. Some people get caught up comparing themselves to others, and that's where it hits for them. Like, oh, I should be trying this, I should be trying that. Right. And I think I used to probably suffer from that when I was like earlier on, but not so much now, which is really good. Like, for example, 3D art is really popping at the moment. And I've thought about it like, damn, is that like the way of the future? 3D art as opposed to 2D. And it's pretty cool because if you get the right software, you can buy elements, like buy a person, buy a motorbike, and you buy these assets and then you put them together to create an image. So it's kind of like collage. And then you just shade it and color it how you want, which is really fun. It's like the fun part of drawing that I like. So I've actually considered dipping my toe in, but it's such a massive departure from like what I do now. So I think I would, if I end up experimenting with that, I will still be doing like, it'll be layered art. So it'll be the 3D art and then I'll do 2D art over it, and then it'll look kind of in between 3D and 2D, which sounds pretty cool. Hopefully will. Yeah, I think that's fun. I think it's smart to know, like have a few tricks up your sleeve. So know a few different ways to create, but yeah, I don't think that's something that I would be doing all the time. I don't think that's so rather
than like a big jump, like a big departure, doing something completely different. It's kind of like the two of them like merging the styles a little bit, or maybe making it gradual and see how it goes, see if you enjoy it, see if you know, would that be something that you would want to do personally, or is that something that you would want to put out there? And then I guess if there was clients that saw it and went, yeah, cool, I really like this, like, can you do something like this for us? I guess it'd be both.
Yeah, I think I'll see how I go. I'll probably do it for myself to begin with, and then if I like what I'm creating, then I will share. But yeah, like often that's the way it is. Whatever you're producing at the time, that's what brands and stuff really want to see from you. And they basically just want you to recreate what they've already seen, which is a bit limiting because sometimes you want to try something new or just not draw the same thing because it's so boring or the same way or whatever. But yeah, it gets really repetitive. So I also think that's a driving force behind why people change things up.
Yeah.
On that, like those brows are a bit red.
Like on that, like submitting work to clients and maybe like being like, oh, okay, they just want this exactly the same thing. Do you ever do the thing where you would say, yes, okay, here's like a sketch or an outline of what you've asked for, but I actually think you should do this, or I actually want to do this for whatever reason, and give them options? Or do you ever?
Yeah, I do.
You have done that?
Yeah, I have. Usually they're like, no, we'll stick with the thing. Which sucks. Well, I tried. But I think sometimes, I can't remember a specific time, but I'm sure there have been times where they'll be like, oh yeah, that's great. Oh yeah, actually I can think of one time. I was creating a t-shirt for a company who everyone would know. It's like a household name, and it should be coming out very soon. So yeah. But that was one time where it worked out, which was nice. So just adding a bit of highlight. But I definitely want to add more color too, because I feel like she's a bit dull. But yeah, with these ones, I definitely, the postcards, portrait series, Polaroid portrait series, I wanted to be a bit grungier than what I usually do, just so I know, for a little bit of point of difference.
Even more grunge. Turn up the grunge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really edgy. I love grungy stuff, and I can't believe before I was so pedantic at like getting like the colors smooth and making sure the lines were so like curved. And you know, this was before I had a touchscreen, so I was drawing with my mouse and the shift key. So like here to here, here to here, here to here, shift, shift. And I got sore wrists doing that, just trying to make the lines as perfectly curved as I could.
Yeah.
And I can't figure out Illustrator, to be honest. So that's why I was doing that in Photoshop.
Doing it in Photoshop with a mouse.
Yeah, literally.
There's like no pressure sensitivity or anything for that. So were you like cutting back? Were you cutting back your lines to do that?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. But I got pretty good at making the lines the way I wanted it. Like, you know how you draw... So like, you know how if you press shift and like draw a line, it makes it a straight line?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that, but yeah. Is it shift on? I was on Mac back then, so I don't know what button it was then, but with Microsoft it's shift. Anyway, so you press the button and you go like that and it makes a straight line. And so I got so good at knowing how to draw curves with straight lines that I would just like, in small increments, straight line, straight line, straight line, straight line, straight line, straight line, straight line. And I could make like a perfect circle doing that.
Wow.
And so there would be no need to cut back. Like sometimes I would just off like to make it a bit more smooth, but most of the time I had it, which is just crazy. Like, wow. I should have won an award for that.
Yeah. It sounds time consuming.
It really was. And and it was hurting my wrists. So I'm glad that I moved away from that.
Yeah, it's not good for your RSI to be continually clicking.
Yeah, no, not at all.
You got to be careful about that, young folks out there. You don't think that it's an actual thing that, you know, you get like a decade into it and you start hearing stories from people who start having issues and things like that. It's an actual, definitely something you need to look out for. I used to use a mouse at home and then use a Wacom, even though I wasn't illustrating or designing at work, just to switch it up, just to switch out how I was using my hand.
That's so smart.
Issues. But then people come over being
really
like,
clever.
Dude, why are you using a Wacom? You don't draw or anything. And I'm like, yeah, it's RSI.
RSI things. Wow, that's smart. That's really smart.
It works.
I think I'm even getting it just from doing the same thing here. So I guess it is about mixing it up. So I should maybe use my mouse a bit more sometimes when I'm at the desktop. And then when I'm on my little Go device, I can use the touchscreen more.
Yeah, there you go.
Food for thought.
I've got a question around the like drawing on like apparel or drawing on sneakers, that seems like it'd be quite difficult, like quite a different thing to do. Like obviously using a touch screen and everything we were just talking about, but like being, I'm pitching you like being in a store, like where people like, I don't know, sneakers, because I know I know you've done some things with sneaker companies and everything. And you know, sitting there where people like buying brand new expensive sneakers and then going, here, draw on this. Is that what's happening?
Yes.
That's so cool.
It's so much trust. Hey,
that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it is. But usually I like people to, I hate it when they just say, oh, do whatever you want, because I don't know you, bro. I don't know what you like. So I like a little bit of direction, and I'll show them. I usually have like stuff on display to show like what I can do. And that's how they're so confident to be able to give me a fresh pair of shoes that they just bought. But sometimes, depending on the brand, some of them let people bring in their own shoes as long as it's the same brand.
Right.
So like I've done sneaker customization at Platypus Sneakers and at Glue, and I've done jacket customization at G-Star, and I've done the one I was actually trying to talk about is blanked. Anyway, so with Platypus or Glue, you'd have to buy a shoe in store, and then I'd do it. But with Dr. Martin, I did that for Dr. Martin, and with them it was just like, come in, bring your Dr. Martens, as long as they're Dr. Martin brand, you can get a free customization. So yeah, depends on the brand.
Yeah. Is it like quite a different aesthetic or different clientele between like people who are buying Doc Martens, like they want skulls and crossbones and stuff, compared to like sneaker freakers would want like something, something a bit more colorful or something?
They want grungy. No, you're spot on. Doc Martens. So like what I had like a flash sheet, like tattoo artists, and I had it there, and then it like just to get people going. But they could come to me and ask for something else that they wanted. So the flash sheet had like a lighter and like drumsticks and a skull and like the Rolling Stones symbol, you know, the tongue and the lips, and some other stuff. I forget what. But yeah, kind of like punk theme, just to get people's minds going. But one gal came up to me, she's like, could you draw like little cherubs? And I was like, oh shit, that is quite a request. But I actually did it. So on the top of the shoes, we had a cherub there and a cherub there facing in with like the arrows. And it looked fire, like fire. I flexed it freehand as well. No stenciling or whatever. Yeah. It was really, really, really sick. I really appreciated that request. Most people don't request, they just go off what's already there.
Yeah. That's cool.
So I'm just adding some different colors and highlights to the hair just to bring the gal out a little bit, give her a bit of color. The photo I'm going off isn't the best quality. It's like really, really dark and like low lighting and no detail at all. So I'm just kind of making things up. It's just fun. Yeah.
And you just use a reference like on your phone. So you're just, when you're looking over to the right, it's just, you know, you've just got it up on your phone and just kind of glancing at it every now and then. For reference. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. It's just down here at the moment. But a busy day. Usually I'd put it in front of me, but I've got to keep it on charge because I'm using my phone for hotspot for this. So it's on charge, laying down. I got a busy day. I need that full battery.
What was I? There was a question just checking in on chat. Fess is saying the shift draw thing is much like using the pen in Illustrator to stop the points and change the line to a curve. Yeah, that's right. There's lots of like little hidden things like that.
What is it?
Pick up. The shift draw thing.
Say again?
The shift draw thing, like in Photoshop, is much like using the pen in Illustrator. So yeah. It's quite similar.
Okay. I wouldn't know. I'm so scared of Illustrator.
And there was, you should watch some Adobe Live sessions and you'll pick it up pretty quick.
Yeah.
But you know, we find that a lot as well. We had a live stream, I think it was last week, very recently, where we had Dale Bugini on and Jeremy Lord, and Jeremy's very much in Team Photoshop. And Dale uses both quite a lot. But it is interesting how people, I mean, I think he still prefers Photoshop for freehand drawing and a lot of the stuff as well. But there was a question about like the items. Like Johanna asks, what would your dream item be to customize? It could be anything.
Like, I am dying to work for like Gucci and customize like a jacket or like some dope, really fat sneakers or even a bag, like paint and like really grungy style. That is my dream. And I would just put it on a pedestal, literally cover it with a glaze casing and nobody can touch it. They can only look. So my friend was like, you should just buy a piece and then customize it. I'm like, no.
Sounds expensive.
That is a lot of money. Yeah. I kind of a bit confused with what I should do color-wise. I'm not really feeling it, but we'll see if I can bring some life. Oops. Open to suggestions.
What's your normal go-to color palette? We've covered pink. Because I remember in yesterday's stream, I was asking about like using the color picker tool, or like do you have like colors saved or anything like that, and you just know like exactly where like these, or you know thereabouts, where on the color picker some of these colors are. So what are some of the other colors that you like intrinsically just like naturally find yourself going to?
This red right there, or like here. That's and sometimes like orange about there.
Yeah.
Or even in this spectrum. I really like warm colors, and I feel like these fingers are a bit too blue, so we're gonna maybe change the hue.
So changing the hue and saturation, or just a hue, sorry, on just the particular layer. So you've got the coloring, because you've got it on a separate layer. You can just open that hue and saturation slider and just change everything kind of in one hit.
Yeah, which I love.
Do you do that a lot?
Simple. Yeah, a lot, especially with backgrounds, because sometimes you'll start with a background, but then the colors you're using in the portrait don't really like pop against the background, so you have to change it. I don't know. Like, okay, I think this is where my brain was going. It looks like she's got a bear on her head. So I gave claws, like bear claws.
Oh, nice.
But I feel like it's a bit evil, and that's not normally my vibe. But we'll see how we go. Bear claws.
I was just trying to figure out when you were chatting about like Gucci, like kind of designing something like it's almost like a juxtaposition, right, between like something very expensive, high end, and like very clean, like the Gucci brand, and then doing a grungy style. And I guess that's a little bit like drawing on white sneakers, right? Like it's it's like adding grunge to this thing that's like, you know, kind of this, I guess like
pristine,
very clean, kind of thing. So something really cool about that. Are you aware of the artist CJ Henry?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's so dope.
Yeah.
She's from Sydney originally. I don't know. Oh, she's from Australia at the very least.
Yeah, she's from Australia. I don't know if I'm not sure where she's from. But she's pretty incredible. And she's nuts. You reminded me of that a lot, because she had a shoot where she was, I think, dipping, like my wife follows her as well, and she was saying that's like a $50,000 bag that she just dropped in paint or something like that. Yeah,
but she would have been gifted it as well. The brand would have gifted it to her.
Totally.
Which is like the plus side about being, because like then you have the luxury to be able to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So dope. I'm working on that. I'm really
working on getting there. Yeah, it's pretty
Gucci.
I'll drop a link in chat if anyone wants to check out her work. She's also an incredible artist.
She's amazing.
So check that out. There was a question in here, which is an interesting one from Trevor. I may have missed it, but what's your go-to document size?
You say this is too large, but I usually do 3,000. Like, I'll do a square. I'll do 3,000 by 3,000 pixels with 300 or 400 DPI, and that's just I do that, and then I literally usually it's for Instagram. But if I'm doing something like an album cover, I'll do it the same as well, maybe even bigger, just in case. But I don't find that it's too massive. Like everything handles it fine. I've never found an issue. Like they say that if you upload to certain platforms, if the file is too large, it doesn't upload very well, but I haven't found that. So yeah.
Nice. If it works.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, usually 3,000 by 3,000.
Nice.
And that way you can like, so what I often do, I'll put, if I have a new artwork that I really like, I'll put it as my background on my computer. And if you do that, it obviously crops it. So it still comes out like pretty good, nice and crispy. And no matter what you do, it looks great.
I like that. You can always bring things lower, but obviously if you're working in Photoshop, like fixed pixels and everything like that, it's always good to kind of start a bit larger, as long as your like system can handle it. I guess most probably can these days. So there's no real reason to go too small, because upscaling, basically got to do it again.
Yeah, I actually did an artwork for a mural concept yesterday, and I'm kind of annoyed because the file that they gave to put the template on, it was really, really small. So I'm just thinking if I'm just gonna have to remake it in a larger file, I don't know, and then like vectorize it. But can I ask anyone out there that knows Illustrator, can you vectorize like a soft brush, like so it's a soft gradient like this? Because usually when I do a vector, I just drop it in because I hate Illustrator so much. So like say this, right?
Yeah.
If I vectorize that, it can only pick up to 16 colors, so it'll come out in rings. How do I fix that? Anybody know the answer?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if you can. I wouldn't know how to do that. I wouldn't know how to approach that.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Or if you could. My quick solution to that, my solution to that will be like to use something like Fresco, where you have different layers, and some can be pixel, some can be live, and some can be vector, and I would layer it. I would layer it in that sense if that was. Yeah,
maybe that's what I'll have to do. So I'd have to work a little bit in the actual app as opposed to just dropping something in. Yay, fun!
Well, stuff to learn.
Yes.
Trevor's got a question in chat. Are you working with a Wacom or some sort of tablet? And what would you recommend for digital illustration?
This is a Microsoft Surface Studio. It is, I would call it a desktop. It's got like a stand. It's really cool. It's touchscreen. It tilts. You can like change the thing. And there's this attachment that you can buy that's like a dial, and you stick it on the screen. And you can like bring the hue or the saturation or lightness or brightness or opacity or whatever up with this little dial. So sick and futuristic. I don't have that, but I do have the Surface Studio and my pen. And it's really, really dope, and I would recommend it.
Nice.
But on the go, I have my Surface, what's it called? Surface Pro. And that's really good too, because it's really, really light. So like if you're on the train or whatever and you want to draw, it's really good.
Yeah, and that one flips around, doesn't it? So like if you've got a laptop,
and you can remove the keyboard.
A bit more like a tablet.
Yeah. You can. It has a stand that you can like hide, and then it has like the keyboard is like an attachment, so you can take it off and then just use it as a tablet if you want, which is really cool.
We've got some potential solutions. Let's see. So Trevor says image trace, and you can select high fidelity. Yeah. But you'll still get rings. You need to manually add the gradients, but that's way too much work. Yeah. You'd almost
that's a lot of work
from scratch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see. RB says The way around it is to do the outer line in Illustrator, then blend the line with the same color, about 300 steps, and it will give you a smooth brush. Yeah. Might not be a good way around it.
Oh no. Maybe I just create a massive Photoshop file. No, that wouldn't work. That's not going to work.
3,000 millimeters by 3,000 millimeters instead of pixels, and that might be.
Yeah. All right. Good luck to me. I'll see how I go.
Good luck to you. Speaking of good luck to you, 15 minutes left.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Quick, huh?
We have. All right. I don't feel like I'm anywhere near where I'd want to be. I should have done a bit more yesterday. After our first lesson, I was like, nah, it's definitely nowhere near where I want it to be. So I'm just going to do a little bit more. And I had to stop myself because I was like, no, if I do any more, it'll be finished. But I don't feel like that's true now. Could have done a bit more. So I do this thing in some of my artwork sometimes where I do like a stylized spray paint thing.
Yeah.
So I'll show you guys, where should I put? I might put it here, but I want it on top of the Polaroid. Cool. So just use a soft brush. And then with the hard brush, do some drip lines. And I just press shift down so it's a straight line. Yeah, it's a bit long. Maybe that's the same length. Like that. Okay. Maybe that. And I'll just shift them a bit, and then I think I can see them up there. Cool. Cute.
Nice.
But I don't know if I want it. I did red for the other one, so I might want to do a different color. But I'll just wait till I've got both my spray lines done. Okay. Graph. Maybe like that. Yeah. Oops. Oh yeah, it's hard. And then, so I had to do it on top of the layer where our hero is, just because I want it to show on top of the actual Polaroid. So I'm just gonna manually delete it from here, so it looks like it's sitting behind her.
Right, yeah, that makes sense. So you're just coming back in through with the a soft eraser or like a hard eraser, and then redrawing.
Hard eraser.
Hard eraser, yeah.
Yeah.
And then redrawing the lines in, or is it just you're just erasing?
No, I'm just erasing that, so just so it looks like it's sitting behind her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I might give her a bit of a halo because she's an angel. She really is an angel. Like, she's beautiful. That's a bit, I might lower the opacity just so I can see where I'm going. And then, because I like those rough edges to show through. And here.
And I'll let you guys know, chat. So yeah, we've got about 10 minutes left. So if you've got anything else you want to throw in chat, yeah, let us know. It goes quick. We also have another question from Trevor, just on the using a stylus. How is the pressure sensitivity in comparison to an Apple Pencil?
Apple Pencil. I've never used an Apple Pencil, but I find that the pressure sensitivity is really good. Like, once I figured out that palm rejection was a thing, it's been super easy. Like, it's not too sensitive. It's not too unsensitive. What's the opposite of sensitive? Yeah, it's really good. I like it.
Nice.
Maybe orange. Maybe pink. Pink's a bit blue.
I do love this
Maybe
about
like
Photoshop,
that.
just bringing up the hues and just playing with the slider.
Yeah. It makes life easier, really and truly. All right. Little halo, and maybe I'll draw some wings. I don't know if that wing should be on top. Maybe I should move this. Yeah, I'm going to move this spray down. So I just got the lasso tool. I went wide because you never know where the gradient ends with like the soft thing.
Yeah.
I think is that placement good?
Looks
I
good.
might do some more further down. You know, the spray paint did bring it to life a bit. I'm actually glad of that. Should this maybe be over here? And then I can cut it off from the side. What do you reckon, guys? Placement wise, is that good?
What do you guys think?
Or should I go lower?
I quite like it down the bottom, like dripping out of the
Yeah.
with the bottom ones, the bottom drips dripping below.
So as in further down or
No,
there?
like where it is, like just so that it shows that it's clearly on top of the
Okay.
on top of the Polaroid, like going down. Cool.
So then I'm going to I'll use the square tool and just cut it out here. Delete. All right, we're basically done, but I'm just going to keep going until time runs out.
Well, that's good.
Why
We've got,
not?
Like 6 minutes left, so
Cool.
that's perfect time.
Yeah, you put the pressure under my bum just now.
Yeah, and then you just
When
like
you said 15 minutes.
you like accelerated like super quick.
Yeah. Sometimes that's all you need. I'm gonna lower the opacity on this, but yeah, sorry, go on.
I was just gonna ask, like, so when you are like satisfied and finished with this, how do you export everything? Do you export stuff like just as a JPEG? Do you do it as a save for web kind of JPEG? Is there anything special?
Smart. No, I just save it as a JPEG.
Yeah.
But I'll also keep it saved as a PSD file, just so if I need it for future for any reason. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
Layered PSD file. Because usually when I'm doing art, like which is for myself, which is this stuff, it's just because I have the time and I'll pop it up on Instagram or something. But if it's for a client, I always ask what file types they need.
Yeah.
I like asking every question at the beginning just to streamline, because I hate back and forthing for no reason. It's such a waste of time.
Totally. Do you have like a set of questions that you make sure you get at the start? Like, when do you want to, like, what type of, like, do you have like a little template, or do you like type it out? Or?
I don't know. I just ask. Yeah, I type it out. I don't have templates for anything except for my invoice. But sorry, I'm just trying to figure this out because
cool.
On the original image, it's like a galaxy vibe. But I don't think I have time to look like that, so I don't know if I'm even gonna bother. But yeah, I just ask them. So usually it's like, okay, unless they've come to me with like all the information, I'll be like, all right, first of all, what's the vibe? Like, what are some buzzwords for what you want people to be saying about this piece? Like, is it edgy? Is it pretty? Is it girly? Is it like, you know what I mean? Whatever. Is it hip hop? Is it modern? You know? So I'll ask for buzzwords, and then I'll usually ask for, like, if they've come to me, I'm like, what of my work have you seen that you liked? Or are there any other like inspo that you saw that you wanted? Or is there anything that you want to avoid? Like, I just like to get it out there. And what file types do you need? And what's the deadline? Straight up. And then after I know all that, then I'll tell them my quote.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes the deadline's like, oh, we got to get it done tomorrow. And it's like, okay, well, I have to sacrifice my sleep and my time. So that's going to cost extra, honey.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. very important to do. Someone once told me when you're quoting like things like that, like if something's super urgent or you have to work over the weekend or anything, is you put it at a ridiculous like price, like to a price where they said make sure that if they say yes, you're excited because you're going to make a lot more money than you normally would. Not
that's
like you got to sit there and think about like, okay, if they say yes, I've got to be happy with it, right? So if you're like, oh, it's going to cost 10% more, and then they say yes, you're like, oh damn, there goes my whole weekend. Or here go, I'm going to have a couple of like really late nights, or I can't go to that family event, or see my friends, or I have to cancel these things I was going to do, or whatever. You're gonna be like, yes, okay, they really want it, they're happy to pay that like extra surcharge, let's do this. I thought that was good advice.
Yes, it is. I've definitely learnt that with time as well. Like, you've got to think about like, what amount do I feel it's worth it to do this? But that's just in general anyway. And I think a lot of the time at the beginning I was selling myself short, and then like really it was a punish to do the work because it was so much work and I was getting paid chips. Like, but now I know your worth, honey. Just wanted to add a bit more color because it was quite dull. I think we're getting there.
Some comments from chat. Yep, agreed. Better at the bottom. Like, I think that's talking about the spray. I think it adds an extra level of depth, which is really cool. Bruce says, love it. Axel says, very cool illustration. Golden Rose says, I'm digging it. Festus says, excellent. Yeah, it's super, super cool.
Oh, thanks guys. Appreciate the love. I'll definitely do a bit more after this, and I'll pop it up on my Insta once it's done. So keep an eye out, guys.
Nice. Yeah, super cool. How many of these Polaroid series do you think you might do in total? Or is it just an ongoing open thing?
Maybe ongoing, but at least 13, because that's my lucky number. So at least 13.
That's quite a lot.
It'd be cool to do like a little like digital exhibition or something. And like maybe that would be cool.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That's cool. You need to have a lower favorite number so that things are easier, just 3.
That's what I did when I won this Microsoft grant a couple years ago. So I proposed a art exhibition which had these like massive artworks that I've done, an AR element. So when you like put your phone over it, it comes to life visually and audio. And the whole thing was centered around inclusivity and just like bringing people together. And I just like am really against discrimination and bullying and all that type of shit. It's like, there's no time for that. So yeah, I chose people from different genders and backgrounds and belief systems and like race, everything, like age even. And we put it together, and in the AR they told their story, and I had a little Q&A with each one by the side. And so that was my pitch, and they were like, okay, great, you won, you have 7 days to get it all together. And I wanted to do 13 portraits, so in 7 days I made 13 portraits, got them printed, had the AR implemented, did the Q&As, booked the venue, booked food, booked drinks, and like sponsored drinks, thank God. Yeah, it was a lot of work. Sorry, did I talk over time? But yeah,
no.
I need to lower my number. So I was like, it needs to be 13, but I ended up doing 11.
It's all right. At least it's not like 167 or something like that, because then, you'll be at things for a long time. We are out of time. We'll take one more look at the illustration. Like it's incredible. Like I said, like I feel like for me, I feel like it was done in the last episode. But then you add so much.
Really?
So much
Is that
more.
what you think?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think it looks super cool. But then, of course, it like the more you add to it, the more texture and color and layers, and like they're very subtle. But then, as over time, obviously, it just adds so much character, adds so much dimension to it. And I think the different textures, like almost different style, like between like the fineness of the hair and then just this big spray, like really gives you a lot to look at. Like it's very. Like from a, layout perspective, it's incredibly engaging. So I can see how someone would want to click on that, right? Like someone would want to see it big.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's my
Should
way
I come
of saying,
back to our screen together?
Yeah, let's go back to the screen together. That's my way of saying I like it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everybody in chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. This has been awesome, Bianca. As always, lots of fun hanging out with you. Thank you for everything you've shared with us in the last episode, this one. If you guys want to check out the previous episode and you didn't see it, or this one, you can jump over to our YouTube channel and check it out. It's in a playlist called Adobe Live. And of course, it's up here on Behance. But yeah, Bianca, as always, thank you so much for hanging out, and we'll see you again soon.
Thanks so much, Flynn. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Appreciate you.
Bye.
See you next time. Bye.